In few times that we have, I try to tell you the story and how started this project called Mafrik. Mafrik because it's a sort of synthetic word between Moroso in Africa. And the name was done by one of the designers working with us, Stephen Burks. So the story was this, that traveling in Africa for some years, I was also looking at what the crafts were there and how the artisans were working. And I also was impressed, like she said, that about that thing that the people, the traditional crafts were, for me, a little bit disappear, or all the artisans were working on these objects for tourism, or they were trying to make or they were producing for other countries objects that had a sort of exotic style, and because they said the colors and the European wanted to have from Africa was this sort of idea of exotic Africa that is belonging to Europeans, not to Africans. And so one day I start thinking that maybe it was important to transform or to try to tell a better story on Africa and on their potentials and possibilities, especially because especially in Italy, I'm living there, and so is my experience. I was very angry and sad with all the people that were treating all the Africans that are coming now in Italy in such a bad way. So I wanted to show how beautiful could be the Africa, their arts, their products, and the people working there. And so we start thinking in having an exhibition, a presentation of something in Milano during the big Salone di Milano, that is a very important international fair, and so where many people could appreciate or could see something different from usual, but something that had to be very deep African. So the idea in the beginning was to mix, not to work only on products, but to show the fantastic work that you can find in Africa in terms of cultural fields, and for instance show the design, but also photography or contemporary art or architecture. So I call some people to realize that. But before this presentation, I show you some images of what was inspiring for me. This show how the fishing nets are usually looking in the beach, and this is a beautiful picture done by a photographer, Mandemori, that he will be later in our exhibition. And how the dreads that I till that time I know that the Italian fishing nets are always only white, and I discovered that in Africa they have so beautiful colors, and this kind of material is very strong, and we can adapt to do something new and special. So I show you this kind of material that everyone can buy in the markets and in the popular markets to make the fishing nets. And looking around, we discover that are many artisans working with these threads to make simple objects, and objects for houses, seats, chairs, beds. And they sometimes cover some plastic chairs like this in a market with this material to make them better and more interesting. So I was thinking, look at this, that we can find a way to show how traditional crafts can be used in a more contemporary way. And I tried to connect craft and designers. And this was the beginning, where some young people helping the designer was start making the chairs. And first I called someone that was with me, working with me in that moment, someone that is a Dutch designer, Torbontje, to study the way they were working and making the things, to make a project that was very close to the possibility of the African artisans. We are there working in Dakar, in Senegal. And so they start making these objects, and in the end, the result is beautiful because it's a perfect combination of what is the capability of the people working in crafts in Africa, together with the, how to say, the fresh and the surprise that someone coming from outside can introduce in this kind of objects. Here to show the group of people working and how they were, how to say, happy to work together in a sort of team to produce that things. After the first pieces, I knew Bibi Sek. Bibi is living in New York, but is coming from Senegal. And so it's the perfect way to go on with this kind of African shapes, and his knowledge about the tradition and the culture of Senegal is perfectly connected with the possibility for him to involve people that he knew there to do something special. And here is the way they work, that is a very, I have to say, material way. They make a design, they try immediately to do them, and the prototype are controlled in the meantime. As you can see, it's a very long and precious work, because the threads, and Bibi can tell you more than, is like to do a sort of fabric, but on a metal structure. So two people are working for many days to make a big object like that. These are another kind of object, is designed by Patrizia Moroso. So I try to involve international designers, and also coming from Europe, because I wanted really that they can have an experience of what Africa could be. And I also ask them to use possibly the colors that are the colors of the real life in Africa, so not beige and brown like maybe the common objects were done for the European market before, but the real colors of the dress and the objects in Africa that are very, very strong and full of light. They were also inspired, of course, by the seeds and objects that in Africa you can find. And so this, for instance, is a project of Dominique Petot, that is a French designer, or better, is living in Senegal since ever, also if he's coming from France. And this is the way that we want to show, just in a common street in Africa, out of the workshop. Another kind of sitting is the typical chair that is connecting back and seat, and this connection, this object is designed by BBSEC and shows also the irony to work in metal in the same way in which the city buses are done. This sort of cars that are done using old tracks coming from Europe. That are called car rapide. That is a sort of English-French word, and is everyone in Africa use that kind of vehicles to move around the city. So the same people that usually are doing that cars are also making this seat. After many months of prototypes and production, we finally take the exhibition in Milano, and this was the installation in Milano 2 years ago. And as you can see, the space was full of the objects done there, so the design objects, but also the photographies, the pictures, the artworks, let me say, and the architecture exhibition. This was, for instance, the architect involved, that is David Ajaye, that is now very famous also here in the United States, and he was presenting here an exhibition called African Cities, that then he developed in a bigger way in London at the Design Museum. Here there is Fatih Hassan. Fatih is an Egyptian artist that was doing his installation in our showroom. Solis Cissé is another artist, a fantastic painter also, but in this case he have done an installation inside the showroom, making a sort of plan of the car and together with some videos. And this lady is Aisha Dion, that was showing also the beautiful fabrics that she is doing in Africa. And we used to cover some of our pieces. This picture is one of the beautiful pictures of Mandemori, and that is living in Dakar, is a photographer. And we are there together. Okay, and the result of this exhibition was very important, I think, because for what concerns my company, finally a lot of people was asking and starting be interesting in what happens out of Italy, and I wanted also to change this with this special collection, the idea that industry is only is only done inside an industry company. Design has to be very connected also with the manuality and the possibility to develop things with craft. This kind of manuality is also part of our production, because we have also in Italy a lot of craft working with us, and so this is something that I really love.